So we're going to do Mobility Monday on a Tuesday. Most of you aren't watching this on Monday anyway. You'll never even notice. It's fine. Today's topic is we're going to talk about the neck a little bit because I don't know about you guys, but I get the tech neck, right? Because I am guilty of doing the same thing as the rest of my peers, right? We all just always constantly looking down on our devices. So as a result, we tend to have a lot of tightness in our neck, usually about here. I am also a chronic migraine sufferer, so I get a lot of my tension up here as well. I'm just going to go through a few neck stretches that I do. Another really good one to do, since we're spending so much time with our necks in this position, practicing going in the opposite way, right? So like looking straight up, even pressing in on the jaw right here. Doing that periodically throughout the day is going to do a lot more for you than just trying to remind yourself like, maybe don't do this, It's one of those things where like putting in a little bit of action gets you a lot further than if you were just considering a new way, right? Like finding a new medication or a new aha moment or something. It's a new inspiration to strike, I guess, would be the best way to think of that. But anyway, the little movements, the micro things that we do throughout our day are always going to be the biggest impact to your overall health. You're not going to see by doing this, right? And I'm going to kind of press down here with my thumb. I'm going to push up so that I'm kind of exercising. I'm kind of strengthening the back part of my neck, and then lengthening the front part of my neck so that it is able to do this a little bit better, because this is really where my neck is supposed to be, not in this slunchy whatever. I make up words here. It's fine. So anyway, enough rambling. Let's get into the actual things that we're going to do. Take your fingers, interlock them, place them behind your head. Take a deep breath in and out. And what we're going to do here, we're going to use this part of our hand as the resistance, right? So if this is my hand is going to be pushing my head forward, and my head is going to actively be trying to push my hand back. You only want it to be about a 5 stretch, right? Like you don't really want to overexert yourself, because then your neck's going to be tired all day and you're going to be doing this. So when we overdo it, this is how we end up, because we're just tired and we don't want to do it anymore. Energizing. All right. So interlocking the fingers, placing them behind your head. I like to put it on that notch part right at the top of my neck, like right where the neck and the head meet is where I've got my pinkies right now. I will even go as far as to, before I start pressing in, I will take my palms, put them just underneath my ears like this, and just kind of give myself a massage right here underneath the ear. Because there's a lot of lymph nodes, there's a lot of muscle tension, and then having this grip, right? That is a completely different grip than a normal massage that I will give myself, right? Like I'm going like this is not the same as going like this. This gives a whole different feeling back there. Sometimes I'll even take my hands like this and pull them upward a little bit to try and lengthen my spine. A little bit of decompression in the neck, a little bit of twist. Don't go too crazy with it. Your hands are still there. But just feeling a breath with that little bit of twist. With each inhale, feel your spine opening up. Because with each inhale, as you take an inhale, right, as you're breathing in, your ribs are expanding, which is actually giving you more space in your spine. That's why the breath is important with yoga, because every time you breathe in, you're able to get more expansion. You're able to find different spots. You might notice sometimes whenever I breathe in, I will even do things like this where I'm trying to find where my spine's not sitting in a way that feels neutral, if that makes sense. Like if you have a spot like where you feel like your back is going to pop, I feel that all the time. So I'll do things like that to try and not necessarily release the pop, but release the urge to pop. Because sometimes it's not that there's something that's needing a pop. It's just, it's finding space in a weird way. All right, so back to the neck stretches. Right ear to right shoulder. So with this cue, you want to think of it like wherever your ear actually is, have it directly above your shoulder. So like not kind of like this. It's not just a general, like directly, because that's going to get you the most centered in where your neck is actually on your body, right? Like it's, while this is nice, and I will encourage you to practice getting some rotations in, because you'll get a lot of stretching through here that you don't normally get otherwise, right? This is not a part that I tend to stretch until I realize that my neck is tight. But anyway, ear to shoulder. Take your hand, place it on top of your head, and we don't want to go with a lot of pressure here because it is your neck, right? It is sensitive. Just enough to put a little bit extra weight so that you can feel a little bit more lateral stretch right here in your neck. On the exhale, try to bring the chin up, right? So I told you I'd cue for a little bit of rotation, but this is more of like a deeper lateral stretch. Because sometimes taking those breaths makes the shoulders go down, and then you can find more space in the neck. If you notice that this side is particularly tight, you can even take this other hand, just kind of press lightly. Like, don't overexert yourself. Don't hurt yourself trying to relieve pain by massaging when your body is not ready for that kind of massage. So what I'll do is I'll literally just 2 fingertips, just lightly pressing in. We're not doing a full massage. We're not going knuckles, just lightly pressing. Think of it like tapping, right? If you're a tapper, I love me some EFT tapping. Especially right along the collarbone. That is always my favorite place to tap. Either case, if you're unfamiliar with tapping, drop a comment and I'll do a deep dive on tapping. Somatic releases are huge, especially to people in the neurodivergent community. Especially to people who feel overwhelmed a lot. If you feel like you are somebody who gets overwhelmed a lot, if you feel like you're somebody who gets overstimulated or over just it's a great grounding technique. All right, next stretch. So we've got the side, the lateral one, we've got the rotation where you bring the chin, right? The other one that I'll even do, putting your hand on your forehead, and I'm sure you can guess it, pressing into your hand, press the forward back, right? Like the resistance is here. Try to make sure that your ears are stacked over your hips and shoulders. I'm sure you could see that real-time correction I did as I was not paying attention when I started this posture. As soon as I closed my eyes, I could feel that I was busy watching myself on my phone and not doing the practice. So I'll usually do that for just a couple breaths for each of the poses. And then I've exceeded my 10 minutes. But if you have further questions, you know where to reach me.